Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to where you're in the world. This is Viper Strike 95, and it's great to have you guys here today. And we're here back in Tulsa International Airport, and that's because this is leg 6 of our journey here among Route 66. It's great to have you guys here. I hope you guys are doing well, and welcome. So yeah, it's been pretty good for me so far. This is gonna be my first ever Um, this will be my first time waking up this morning. It's good to see everyone here. But before we get started, I'm going to say hello to all those in the chat. Super Typhon 173 is in the chat. Good to see my friend. And Devil Dude 1, good to see you. He's in Florida in the sim. Nice. You watched Formula One earlier today. You got 3 laps. Yeah. Formula One's quite the sport. So now, before we get started, so let's start with our flight plan here. Let's put up our nav map for a bit. Let's get the nav map. Should probably take a second for the nav map to load. I guess I need to load it back up. Weird. For some reason, it's not connecting. I'm need to pop up my nav map again. So hold 1 second. So perfect. All right, guys. Just let me get this downsized so you guys can actually see. So for our nav map today, we have our flight plan here. Let me go ahead and get this thing loaded. So, okay, we finally got it. So we start here from Tulsa International Airport. For Tulsa, we're going to be entering to the University. We're going to go through back down to the road of US Route 66. We'll be visiting the University of Tulsa. Then from there, we'll be visiting the Outsiders House Museum. This is where much of the famous movie, The Outsiders, has been filmed. Then from there, we'll be visiting the ODEC Field, 1OK Field, home of the Tulsa Drillers baseball team. Then the BOK Center. And then we visit downtown Tulsa. We'll be flying through. We'll be visiting much of the industrial area that made Tulsa famous for its oil refineries. Then go down to the road. We'll be visiting Oakhurst and then Sapulpa, Kellyville, Bristol, Depew, Stroud, Oklahoma, Davenport, Chandler, Oklahoma, Warwick, right next to Luther, Arcadia for the Round Barn, and then go across the road, visit Edmond, and then go down to the road and fly into Oklahoma City as well to visit many of Oklahoma City sites, including the state capitol, History Center, the Oklahoma City Memorial, the Bricktown Ballpark in Paycom Center. We're going to be visiting the Skydance Bridge, which, by the way, is a POI landmark in the sim. And then we fly all the way down to Oklahoma City International, known as Will Rogers World Airport, named after the famous entertainer Will Rogers. So that is going to be our plan for this day today. So that is going to be today's plan. So let me go ahead and move this back. Ooh, okay. So the plane we're taking today is something a bit slower, but I think it's going to be more than good enough for today's journey. And I'm talking about the Drifter Ultralight. And this is the Drifter Ultralight from Ants Airplanes. Yes, this is their first plane in the simulator. This little Drifter Ultralight is really good. It's got many of the similar features to um the Tiger Moth. It's got its own GPS tablet, very similar to it as well. But the major difference between this plane and the Tiger Moth is it's significantly newer, and you have even better visibility. And I mean, this thing is an ultralight. You don't need much of a plane purchase for it. I got in the blue and orange color scheme today, which kind of matches the Oklahoma City Thunder's colors. But also the blue and gold. You could also say it looks like blue and gold, which matches the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. So it's going to be pretty simple. The cockpit's going to be nice and simple. And obviously, being an ultralight, this is really easy to turn on. You just turn on this, turn on the primer. And you just turn on that. And that's basic. And that's just basically it. Or am I not doing something? Oh, I need to turn on the magneto. That's weird. Prime that engine a few times. There she goes. There she goes. She's on. Nice. So yeah, guys, she's now on the planes. So yeah, she's finally on, guys. So yeah, she's now on. A little fast. So there's what the Tulsa Aerospace Museum would be located. Right over here in the parking lot. So let me go ahead and play some of that country music today. Because we're in Oklahoma, we're in country music country. Alright guys, let's get this taken off. Okay, if you guys want to join me, I'm on the East USA server. And most importantly, take a plane that's within the speed of this drifter, which we're going to fly around 60, 70 knots here today. So yeah, it's fantastic seeing you guys here today in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we're cruising at 2,500 feet today. That would be the cruise altitude for this flight. But if we want to, we can cruise at 2,000 feet for much of it. So yeah, great to have you guys here today. All right. So let's bring this tablet out there. We do have a tablet right here, just like in the Tiger Moth. Pretty cool. All right, guys. Let's go. So guys, let's talk about some of the interesting things we're going to be learning here today. So we're going to be visiting Tulsa, Oklahoma today. So what do we want to know about Tulsa, you may ask? Well, you see, Tulsa, Oklahoma is the second largest city in Oklahoma, and it's the nation's 47th largest city with over 413,000 residents. It serves as the seat of Tulsa County, Oklahoma. It was originally settled between 1828 and 1836 by the Lakota band of the Creek Native American tribe. However, the thing that really made Tulsa famous was its energy sector, mainly oil. And that's why it's nicknamed the oil capital of the world in the United States. However, the city has now really diverse sectors, including finance, aviation, telecommunications, and technology. It's home to Oral Roberts University in Tulsa for its main educational stuff. And it's also a pretty big city on Route 66 as well. So this is a bit about Tulsa. So if you guys wanted to learn more about it, we're going a little fast. Trying to get this cruise to more manageable speed. Hey, Mulch Ice Cube, good to see you. Hey, Al, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? It's good to see you, my friend. So we're flying for Route 66. This is Lake 6. So we're now going to, after visiting, I'll learn a little bit about Tulsa. We're going to be visiting the University of Tulsa next. Known as Tulsa University, is a private research university here in Tulsa. It traces back its origin to 1882 as the Presbyterian School for Girls. However, it's now known as the University of Tulsa. It includes the Gilcrease Museum, one of the richest collections of American Western art and indigenous American artifacts. Their sports teams are known as the Golden Hurricane. They compete in Division I of the NCAA. Oh, I was not flying in Laz's stream, unfortunately. I was not flying in Laz's stream. Moloch. I wasn't on his stream. So I was not flying in Laz's stream though, if that's what you're asking. I don't really follow Laz, so I'm not really part of the stream. Oh, okay. So there's a couple places here in University of Tulsa we're going to be visiting. One is Skelly Field. Let me get down a little lower, just so you can. Here we go. Here we go. So the football stadium here at the University of Tulsa, it is Skelly Field, the H.A. Chapman Stadium. This outdoors college stadium is home to the University of Tulsa. It opened back in 1930. It's over 92 years old, which makes it one of the older stadiums in the country. It currently has a seating capacity around 30,000, but back in the older days, its largest attendance was 47,000 when #1 ranked Oklahoma shut out Tulsa 65-0. And then next to the football stadium, if you look to your left, right, there is the basketball facility, and that is that's the Reynolds Center, known as the Donald W. Reynolds Center. It seats around 8,355 people. Opened in 1998 and is named after Donald W. Reynolds. It's home to not only the Golden Hurricane basketball team, but also the volleyball teams. In their first season, they actually attracted over 8,000 fans per game as well. So definitely a pretty nice little venue. Definitely a small college. But Tulsa is a pretty academically strong university. Oh, one more thing. I'm gonna go delete the name. Just turn off the name tag for a second so I can take this. All right. All right. By the way, guys, I usually take these pictures and post them on the Discord, so you guys can take a look at them on the Discord. Whoa. So here it is. So here's the Tulsa Stadium. And then there's the Reynolds Center. And then there's the rest of the campus. And here's the rest of Tulsa's campus. A couple other things about Tulsa that people need to know. In 1921, home to one of the worst incidents of racial violence in American history, the Tulsa Race Massacre happened when moms of white Tulsans killed the black Tulsans and robbed the entire black community. In estimates, around 300 people died in that whole event, while 800 more were injured. Because Tulsa at the time was home to Black Wall Street, one of the most prosperous black communities in the United States at the time. So there's the rest of Tulsa's campus. So another thing about the University of Tulsa, some notable alumni. Dr. Phil McGraw was an alumni. Current Walmart CEO Doug McMillon. The author of The Outsiders, S.E. Hinton. The inventor of voicemail, Gordon Matthews. Radio legend Paul Harvey. And Pro Football Hall of Famer Steve Largent are all alumni of Tulsa University. I have actually flown over Florida in both real life and in the sim. Worst state to drive through has to be Oklahoma troopers. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, with all the troopers going around, I can understand. So we'll be going through the next one. We're actually going to be visiting the Outsiders House Museum, which is based off the 1983 movie directed by Francis Ford Coppola, The Outsiders. It was also the same novel by S.E. Hinton, and they actually preserved the house that served as the primary film set of the movie from the Curtis brothers, the main characters of it. The house was originally built in 1920 and served as a private residence prior to becoming a museum, and it became a museum because one of the people involved in the movie actually wanted to preserve it. So you get to actually learn all about, well, how The Outsiders were made, which was a pretty well-known movie back in the day. It was filmed here in Tulsa. So we'll be flying over the house soon. Let me go ahead and go down. Unfortunately, the photogrammetry isn't that great, so unfortunately I couldn't really pick out the house, but it's in this area. So below us, so the Outsiders house is right below us, which is right here, I believe. Right here might be the Outsiders house. So this is where much of the film was set, over in this area, which is right here. So by the way, guys, if you haven't followed the channel, do smash that follow button because I'm running to get 500 followers by the end of the year. And once you do that, definitely check out the Discord. The Discord, I work hard on this. So this is where you get my pictures for all my flights. So now, once we get through the Outsiders Museum, we're going to be visiting on 1 OK Field, home of the Tulsa Drillers minor league team. Around 7,833 fans, but it can hold up to 9,000 for special events. It has 23 seats, and it's actually seated 13 feet below street level. 24 left. Nice. Originally, the new ballpark was intended to be more directly connected to the urban surroundings, and has many of the luxury amenities on Major League Ballpark, both fans and the coaches. And obviously, you know why the team is called the Tulsa Drillers. Because, well, Tulsa's famous for its oil industry. So here's the ballpark below us. You know me as a big baseball fan. You know how crazy I am for baseball. And speaking about baseball, so I'm a big fan of baseball, so there is 1 OK Ballpark. Just gotta grab another pick. I need to have a pick of downtown Tulsa. So yeah, this is 1 OK Ballpark down to our left. So this is our ballpark. Let's see if we can get a little closer. Let's see if we can get a little closer. No. So here it is, 1 OK Ballpark. You can see the seating. There's some seating there. There's your classic all seating charts. Look at that. All right, so that is 1 OK Ballpark. So here's downtown Tulsa, by the way. So here it is. Here's the BOK Center here in Tulsa. So let me go ahead and get this position so I can give you the information. Yeah, usually I will give you guys a stop, so you guys can look at what I'm talking about. But here it is. So this here is the BOK Center. Here it is. Let me pull up the information. This multi-purpose arena is around 19,199 fans. It is the primary indoor sports venue here in Tulsa. It accommodates everything from arena football to hockey, basketball, concerts, and more. Currently, the tenants include the Tulsa Oilers of the Indoor Football League and the Tulsa Oilers of the ECHL, which is one of the minor league hockey teams currently. It was actually built at the cost of $18 million of public funds and $18 million more for private. I believe it opened back in 2009. It's a pretty nice looking venue as well. So definitely pretty nice. Yep, so that is a bit of Tulsa. Just gonna fly a little bit more into downtown for just a little bit, and explore the rest of it before we get back on the road. Remember, this ultra goes quite fast compared to the other ones, so we can take a little time to explore. But definitely very beautiful. You see, I definitely do like flying airliners, but it's nice to fly in a small GA like this, you just fly over all the cities and stuff. It's pretty cool. All right. So that is a bit about downtown Tulsa. We're going to go ahead and head off. So we're going to be saying goodbye to Tulsa. I might come back to do a city tour of Tulsa in the future. So now we'll be crossing over to Route 66 Neon Sign Park. Now, guys, if you look to your right, you see all those oil refineries. Well, you see, like I said earlier, Tulsa was called the oil capital of the world. And that was because a lot of oil refinery companies here set up shop here in Tulsa. Definitely very cool and interesting to visit. There's the oil refineries again for you guys want to check it out. One of the tons of refineries in the area. Crazy. It's crazy how much this area was built back in the 1800s. And there's downtown Tulsa. Hey, how do you know where everything's in the different cities? Ah, good question. Let me show you, Malach. So here's what I use. So I have little nav map. Let me pull this up. So I have little nav map, and whatever interest I found in landmarks, I find the location and post it on my little nav map page. Let's say 1 OK Park. Okay, I see that ballpark. That would be a cool landmark to learn. So type it in, find the location, and just put it on the map. So for example, if I wanted to post a landmark, let's say I want to post a landmark here at the jail. Do this, post it, and you can add the position to it on your nav map. See, really easy. That's the program I use, and if you really wanted to learn mapping, it's a good program to learn how to use the map. It also lets you track your position as well. Yeah, it's a very good program. But for me, it's really helpful because I know all the locations that I need to get going to. Hey, is Tulsa the city that had 96 earthquakes in a week due to fracking damage? Hey, good to see you, friend. All no, I don't think it's fracking. I don't believe so. Hey, Sandwich. Dang, that's pretty cool. First time chat, good to see you, Swanwich. So yeah, we're doing Route 66. We're following the Mother Road from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. We're around 112 nautical miles. It's great to have you here. And what I do every single one of these streams is give you all the information in a slideshow. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I do for every single one of my flights. Yeah, but it's really cool though, and I really enjoy this ultralight Swanwich as well. It's a really... That map you have is connected to Flight Sim. You follow that on another screen? Yes, I do. I have 2 monitors Swanwich. I have my laptop, and that is the main sim, and then I have another monitor for MSFS. and that's where I put my other stuff in. So on one screen I can have the flight sim, and then another one I have my nav map, which is on my OBS screen and all that. So this allows me to monitor my position as well, so I know where I'm going. And that's important for me because I usually love to give out tours, like to all the locations. It would be great for me to have the nav map to try and keep me from getting lost. Though that does happen to me sometimes. So just to warn you. But no, it's great to have a new face here. And welcome. So we're going at 67 knots here in the drifter. Hey, thank you so much, Swanwich, for the follow. Thank you so much, man. Hey, Friend to All says, though the industry claims otherwise, the link between fracking and earthquakes has been recognized since 1990. Yeah, because the way fracking works is they often blast like water and stuff into the ground, and because they try to, that's one way to extract gas and all the other stuff. However, because it hits the ground, it might accidentally cause seismic movements. And I think that's why fracking is a bit dangerous, people say, because it causes earthquakes. So that's what Friends of All is mentioning in that wall text. So we're going to be heading up to Salpupa, Oklahoma. It's 20,000 people live here. It was actually named after its first permanent settler, a Lower Creek Indian named Salpupa from the Kashika or Cosetta band of the creek. He established a trading post near the meeting of the different creeks. When the Atlantic and Pacific Railroad built a spur in the area, it became known as Salpupa Station, and it was incorporated in March of 1898. Now historically, its main economic development when it was founded was walnuts. Walnuts actually grew here. Though once the railway came around, they installed a lot of clay products, and it's still home to a pottery company that's very famous in the area. They also have glass manufacturing here. They still make glass here. And it's also known as the Crystal City of the Southwest. It became a big part of rail transportation because of the Frisco line. And of course, this was also part of Route 66. And one of the most unique Route 66 landmarks here is the world's tallest replica gas pump. It is 66 feet high, or 74 foot if you include the circular sign on top. And there's also the famed Rock Creek Bridge that's still standing here today. And we should also be checking out the John Frank House that was built in 1955, designed by architect Bruce Goff and designed by John Frank, the founder of Frankonoma Pottery. And it was specifically designed to showcase their love for pottery, as John Frank actually glazed and fired the ceramic tiles that are throughout the house. And it's allowed for public tours. You can visit here publicly for tours of the property, the public. You can learn all about not only their house but also their love of pottery. It's available through Thursday through Sunday in the afternoons, though alternative times may be requested. You can actually visit this area. Pretty cool stuff about Salpupa. Some notable people include the Collins kids of musicians. You have the former Secretary of Treasury, George Miller, under. And finally, William Miller Jenkins, the 5th governor of Oklahoma, the territory of Oklahoma. It's pretty cool stuff about Little Salpupa. There's downtown Salpupa. Falling down the Mother Road. And yes, this thing does have an autopilot, by the way. But yeah, beautiful area today. I set the weather to calm winds. I wanted something a little different from the weather besides a few clouds or high level clouds as well. And yes, this thing has an autopilot, by the way, you get in its tablet, along with different settings and all that. Currently, this thing's running really smooth. And that's great for a flight like this. It's more drawn out. So again, there's another Route 66 museum here as well. There are many of them open here. Hey, Red Dragon CMRU, good to see you. Just jumped in for my Saturday afternoon. You're catching up in the Tiger Moth. Oh, nice. Good to see you, Red Dragon. Nice to see you. Listen. Yeah. I'm basically like the history teacher. So by the way, guys, if you're here for the first time, I currently do services for good old Firefly Air, which, by the way, is why I named it Firefly Air Ops. Is because I'm not only a good close member of the Two-Tone Murphy community, I am part of his team as the researcher. So I am also the most decorated pilot on the virtual airline. So if you click the link, it'll show you how to be part of Firefly Air. And if you guys want me to, I can also show it in stream if you want as well. Just let me know. But yeah, I love the Drifter Ultralight. Guys, I think the Drifter Ultralight is probably the best one. It goes at a good speed, and it's autopilot. Great visibility. I mean, and now with the recent update, it runs so smooth. Like the Drifter runs unbelievably smooth. So I want to ask you guys. I hope you guys have had a good weekend so far. I had a fantastic concert last night. Oh, what's this? Oh, Bretzig has now followed. Bretzig, thank you so much, my friend. Welcome to the channel, Bretzig. Welcome to the Viper Strike Snake Pit. Good to see you. As well. So, I had a fantastic concert last night. I went to see Sabaton and Epica last night. It was fantastic. Both bands did really, really well. My only issue with it is that we sat right next to the speaker. I couldn't really hear their voices, but it was a great show. Especially Sabaton was amazing. They performed some of their really well-known songs, and they just rocked out the entire night. It was crazy last night. 4,000 people came here. It was a completely packed house. But thankfully, we got a good parking. Me and my brother got a good parking spot, so we got it pretty quickly. So we're going to turn left here at a head degree of 199. So yeah, we're now following the middle road. We're falling back on Route 66. So that's why I want to try and get a little low to the ground at 1500, because we're going to be pretty low on the ground. Great Country said, the Drifter runs even better? Yes, it runs even better since the MSFS update. Because that's what the DC6 suffered the same issue, because everything was running slowly. But now the Drifter runs so smooth now since the MSFS update. It runs so smooth. Before I would have gotten some little stutters here and there, but now it's just running so smooth. It runs great. So we're next going to visit Kellyville, named after James E. Kelly, who established our train post here in 1892. In fact, Kellysville was infamous for having the worst train disaster in the history of Oklahoma when two Frisco trains collided there in 1893. Now, in addition to that as well, oil and gas were discovered nearby in 1915, and it created a population boom boom, and there's even a refinery that was originally built here as well. Speaking about the train wreck, it's still one of the bloodiest train wrecks because a lot of cattle were actually killed. So around 23 people were killed, 80 more people were injured, and of course there were a lot of cattle that passed away as well. So that was a little bit about Kellyville. Some of the areas you probably know, there's Hayburn Lake, which is around 6.5 mile drive west. There's Hayburn Lake, which is known for playground, picnic areas, and fishing. There's also the Creek County Fairgrounds, which is the local fairgrounds around here, which has fairs, livestock shows, and more. And its own public park as well. So a little bit about Kellyville. Just to wrap up the information, the only thing I don't like about Drifter is it glides too well. Yeah, but Anti-Airplanes did a great job with it. So here is Kellyville to our left. Have you guys seen the new Orbex plane? The Pack 750. Yeah, the 750 is an interesting one. Some people did. There are some people that liked it. Some people didn't. I'm really on the fence with it. With the 750. I'm not saying it's a bad plane. I'm just saying I'm kind of on the fence. So yeah, that's definitely an interesting plane that came out. Now I want to ask you guys: have any of you gotten the hot air balloon in the sim? Because I might be getting it in the near future. My only issue is, I wonder how I can fly it properly. I know there's an autopilot for it, but you're at the complete mercy of the wind in a hot air balloon. So it might be really difficult to do a city tour on a hot air balloon. What fence? I'm probably not getting it. I think for that price, there are other planes I'm gonna get. I don't have a balloon. But I mean, I would be interested in the hot air balloon as something interesting and unique. But it's definitely a very interesting plane. So in terms of news stuff as well, some pretty big things. I know Merc talked about it. So we're getting the 747 Classic and A300 into MSFS, which I think is awesome. I definitely want to get the 747 Classic, the 100 series 747, which is going to be really cool. Which would be really, really cool. And I bet you Airbus fans are going to also really like the A300. And I've seen a few A300s for UPS, by the way, so that would definitely be a really interesting add-on for a lot of you guys. Hey, Dougal McTavish, good to see you, my friend. It's good to see you, Dougal. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, we're on the Mother Road. We got past Kellyville. We just took off from Tulsa. We visited downtown Tulsa. We got to see the film set of The Outsiders, along with the University of Tulsa and all the oil refineries around it. Went through Salpulpa in Kellyville. We're now heading, we're going to go on the road and head our way to Bristol, I mean. But yeah, I'm doing really, really well here. Yes, so many awesome people here, guys. I mean, there's so many awesome people. And yes, we got country music here because, well, we're in Oklahoma. We're in country music country, so I wanted to try something appropriate for the state. So speaking about Tulsa, they have a couple more facts about Tulsa. I know we just went past it, but here's a couple more facts about Tulsa. We know about Tulsa, about its oil. Well, the first oil found here around Tulsa was actually in 1901 by John Wick and J.C. Hadrick in the village of Red Fork. And then two more prospectors found oil, Robert Galbraith and Frank Chesley. And as a result, it led to Tulsa become a major oil refinery hub in the U.S. And there's all sorts of oil stuff, including its own historic district, which featuring many buildings belonging to some of the biggest oil companies in the world at the time. It can be found here in Tulsa. And if you guys want to learn more about it, I might do a Tulsa city tour and I can show you all guys the historic districts around the city and all that. But like I said, city tours are my other series I do. I just want to do Route 66 first. Take a little break from the city tours. I wanted to do Route 66. So yeah, that's my kind of my things. Also, here's another thing too. The BOK Tower we saw, the tallest building here in Tulsa. If you wonder why that looks similar to the World Trade Center that was destroyed in 9/11, well, that was because it was actually designed by the same architect, Minoru Yamasaki and Associates. He was the one who designed it. It's also home to one of the tallest statues in the country, the Golden Driller, 75-foot tall, 43,000-pound statue of an oil worker was built around there, and it was originally built in 1952. And Tulsa, like I said, was a huge part of Route 66. 25 is a bit much. The balloons and the Mercy, like you said, is available. Yeah, I guess so. I would love to do a city tour with the. I wish I could find a way to do it with the balloon over Albuquerque. Let me go ahead and change the autopilot again. Yeah, you could assign different winds. Yeah, I guess I can assign different wind. Yeah, I could always change the wind. But, I mean, I'm not really that sure. So, the next community we're going to be visiting, not now, but we're going to be visiting it soon. Once we turn left, we'll be visiting another really cool city here on the Route 66 journey. And I'm talking about Bristol. Bristol is in Creek County, Oklahoma, began in 1898 when the St. Louis-San Francisco Railway, known as Frisco, built a track here between Sapulpa and Oklahoma City, named after Joseph L. Bristow, a U.S. Senator from Kansas. At the old time, it was heavily dependent on cotton at the time, when it was brand new. Though in recent years has been surrounded by corn, potatoes, and fruits. But of course, it was also part of the Route 66, home to quite a few historical sites, including the Bristow Fire Station, which was in the Bristow Presbyterian Church, were National Historic Registered Places. There's the old Beard and Mortar Company, which was a Route 66 landmark. And it featured a 75-foot tall Chrysler Plymouth sign out in the front. Some notable people. One of its most famous people that have been around Bristol, or at least have been associated around it, it was Gene Autry. He actually performed in Bristol. He was a telegrapher at the Frisco train depot, but he actually performed here in there as well. You have bronze medalist Josiah Henson for the 1952 Olympics. You have Robert Hughes, the winningest high school basketball coach in the United States with over 1,300 wins. And famous folk singer Thomas Paxton. He moved to Bristol with his parents in 1948. Moved to Bristol. But those are some notable people around the city as well. So yeah. Oh, that's Bristol, Oklahoma. A little bit of information. I mean, beautiful area. We're getting to more foresty parts of Oklahoma. Yeah, when a lot of people think of Oklahoma, they think of the plains, but not with forests. But we're actually into that foresty part. So here's downtown Bristol. You're in front of us. Here's downtown. So yeah, this is Bristol to our left. Beautiful area. So we're going to go to 2 through 7. So yeah, we're going to turn to 237 as we leave Bristol behind. Okay, let's see who, oh, there's Red Dragon. Oh, okay, I see you, Red Dragon. Yeah, I turned off the nameplates. I still cut them off. But yeah, this is Bristol. And Red Dragon's with me. He's still going to try and catch up in the Tiger Moth. And look at this. There's actually a little airport right here. Jones Memorial Airport. 3 Foxtrot 7. It's just really, really cool. So yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to join along, there's an airport right next to me. Fun and so yeah. Oh yeah. If you guys want me to, let me. This is bomb passenger. So yeah, some other things I want to talk about. So baseball was started the playoffs this year for baseball, and I mean, unfortunately for the Rays, they kind of just dropped an egg in the playoffs. Like they really dropped an egg, and they absolutely got beaten by the they couldn't even score a run. They only scored one run in both games. Really, just why? And then the Mariners had a crazy comeback and swept the Blue Jays. But many people thought would be a World Series team gets swept by the Seattle Mariners who haven't made the playoffs in 20 plus years. Hey, ball guys, cute. Yeah, baseball thing. Yeah. But yeah, big win for Mariners fans. I mean, I'm very happy for the Mariners fans who haven't gotten to the playoffs in nearly 20 years. So good for the Mariners fans. The Cardinals got beaten by the Phillies with Bryce Harper and company. Yeah, and then the Padres and Mets are going to go for a Game 3 tonight. So that should be pretty good. So yeah, the Yankees are about to start. Yeah, the Yankees. I mean, let me just tell you, Aaron Judge had an amazing season. 62 home runs. He finally, Mariners' AL record has been smashed. And it's by another Yankee, too. So here is the small village of Depew, Oklahoma. This is a small little town of Depew, Oklahoma. Yeah. Well, speaking about Gene Autry, by the way. So, it says when we went down to Bristol, he actually worked as a telegrapher. Well, this was actually before his singing career. And then, in fact, he also performed the guitar at the local dances, and that gave him some popularity. And it turns out one night, during one of those bars in Chelsea, Will Rogers heard him singing, and he was encouraged to sing professionally by the famous Will Rogers. And as soon as he had money, he actually went to the Victor Talking Machine Company, and then he became a professional singer, and he became extremely famous as one of the great country artists of all time, with many hillbilly-style records and more. He has so many iconic songs. Of course, his unofficial theme song is Back in the Saddle Again. But he made over 640 records in his amazing singing career as well. Very famous artist. But it wasn't just singing, though, that Gene Autry was an absolute legend at. Autry was also a film star. He was a film star too. He filmed in quite a few motion pictures as well, including some of the Western stars. He also served during World War II as well. And then he became a radio TV star. He had a huge weekly show there called Gene Autry's Melody Ranch. And he became very famous for his Melody Ranch, and he was known for his code of honor and all that. And then, here's the most interesting thing about Autry. He was a baseball owner. Yes, Gene Autry was the owner of the Los Angeles Angels. All the way to his death, all the way to 1982. Actually, he actually owned the team until 1995. When he sold it to the Walt Disney Company. And that was after his death. On October 2nd, 1998, it became one of the most iconic Americans in the 20th century. And he had a massive legacy. So yeah, just a little bit about Gene Autry a lot of people don't know about. In fact, he's the only person to have 5 stars in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Definitely a very iconic career from a very iconic American performer, actor, and all that. I learned all kinds of neat stuff, yeah. So we're actually now heading to another community here. Coming up soon, we'll be visiting Stroud, Oklahoma, located in Creek and Lincoln counties, found in 1892, named after James W. Stroud, a developer. During the first half of the 20th century, it was mainly a cotton side. However, when Route 66 was completed, it became a major rest stop for a lot of hotels and stuff. Came up and shop here. And one of the areas most founded here as well. Also, in 1915, there was the city of Stroud was a victim of the legendary outlaw Henry Starr when he decided to rob 2 banks as well. In addition to this as well, it was home to a very famous cafe known as the Rock Cafe. And of course, it was devastated in the 1999 tornado outbreak, which destroyed the 53-store outlet center as well. And then in 2001, the crews of Pixar actually came here to Stroud when they decided to research the cars. And they actually visited the famous Rock Cafe. And they actually did Sal Carrera was based off of it. But some notable people include Kevin Bookout, a former basketball player born here in Stroud, and Bobby Riley are some notable people. And then we get to visit one of the more famous ones on the road. And yes, we're visiting quite a few landmarks in our journey, by the way. So one of the most famous landmarks here is the famous Rock Cafe here in Stroud. Now, a history about the cafe, it was originally built in 1936, opened in 1939. After extensive repairs, it was reopened back in May 29, 2009. And apparently, Don Welsh, the proprietor of Rock Cafe currently, and a longtime promoter of Route 66 in Oklahoma, is the basis for the animated character Sally Carrera from Cars. Yes, I mentioned Cars before, but Cars, a lot of the movie from Cars actually is from the from Route 66. So that's pretty cool. We should be flying over the Rock Cafe soon. So the Rock Cafe should be a little... So there's the Rock Cafe. It's down this road. There's Route 66. this here is where the Rock Cafe stands here in real life. If you look to your left, this is where the Rock Cafe stands, right here. Is in this area. Unfortunately, it's autogen, so we couldn't really see the famous restaurant. But it's one of the many restaurants in the area. So that's Bristow. We're now gonna. Oh, there's Brenda Altline in the on the stall plane, the Pac 750. Yeah. Thank you so much, Moloch, for wanting to learn all this stuff. Like I said, it's one thing to just pick up and fly a plane, but for me, I want to actually teach you guys a few things, so that way you guys can know all this information. That way you can learn something about the famous routes. And there's Red Dragon, I see you, my friend. Yeah, in the brilliant Tiger Moth. That plane is so brilliant. The Tiger Moth's a brilliant plane. Good stuff to know, yeah. But the Tiger Moth is an absolutely brilliant, plane. It's made by the same developer too. Ants Airplanes. This is their newest one that Red Dragon's flying. But it's such a really cool plane. It's an old biplane from the 1930s. As well. It's got made the same stuff on its tablet for the autopilot, which is great. I'm gonna move a little slower, just don't want to go too fast. The whole thing. So by the way, guys, don't forget the next Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday is going to be the Kodiak release for the float one. So the Floatiac's going to come out on Wednesday, and it's going to be for 15 bucks if you don't have the Kodiak previously, but if you bought the Kodiak from the Simworks Studios store, you can get it for $10, which is a whole dedicated Kodiak float plane. So we're now heading to the small village of Davenport. So here's Davenport. Here's Chandler. So here's the little village of Davenport. Yeah, so many planes, so little time and budget. Yep. That's why I want to be careful with my budget. So usually either I get planes that I'm really interested in, or I look at other people and see what they think. Because other people who spin it probably have ideas, and people who are more knowledgeable with it can help. That's why I'm trying to be careful with how much I spend. All right. So next off, we're going to be visiting Chandler, the county seat of Lincoln County, Oklahoma. 3,100 people live here, according to the 2010 census. It was named after Judge George Chandler, Assistant Secretary of the Interior of the United States. It was opened by a land run in 1891 on September 28th. It planned to be open on September 22nd, but the survey has not been complete yet. However, in 1897, tragically, a tornado destroyed most of the fledgling town and killed 14 residents. Then it was rebuilt in 1898, when it was completely rebuilt. Chandler was one of the many cities along the famous Route 66, and it contains a number of attractions, including the Oklahoma Law Enforcement Museum Hall of Fame, the Route 66 Interpretive Museum, and more. Chandler was also considered to be the pecan capital of the world due to all the agriculture around here. And some notable people here in Chandler include Major League Baseball player John Gray, composer Roy Harris, James Nance, and mathematician Wade Ellis are all people notable from here. And some things you can find here, we have the Chandler Armory, which now houses a Route 66 Interpretive Museum. Mainly, it's known for being the only brick outhouse in all of Oklahoma with the original French fixture. It's not very physical, but instead most of it is through audio and visuals to immerse the visitor in the atmosphere of the old highway. And then you also may relax in the bed to view the material on an overhead screen here from the Armory as well. In addition to the Route 66 Interpretive Center, there's also a Seavis filling station that was built in 1921 as well. And you can definitely see a lot of these old gas stations, but all those old filling stations were very much a part of Route 66 back in the day. It really is built like a brick outhouse. Yep, it is. It's a brick outhouse, but it's actually on its original fixtures compared to other ones which they have been replaced. So there's So here it is. Here is Chandler. Yep, just had to make a quick turn. So this is downtown tour, right? So yeah, there's Chandler. So now we got past. So there's sprint to all. So fun with us is sprint to all. We also have Red Dragon with us as well. We had a beautiful day here in Oklahoma. So in terms of our route, we guys are only 48 nautical miles away from completing our journey here to Oklahoma City. So far, guys, we're doing really well. Nice and quick. We just turn left. So coming up here is the former thriving community of Warwick, Oklahoma, which was once a thriving place of Route 66, but now it became a ghost town due to the construction of I-44. So Warwick's, we're going to be going over here in just a second. But yeah, beautiful day here today. So for that Sabaton concert, it was loud. I was lucky to have my earplugs with me because it was quite a loud concert. But I mean, there was loud. The fans were absolutely crazy. It was just awesome. So there's Warwick. Used to be a thriving community on Route 66, but once I-44 came into existence, kind of passed away. So if you guys like what you've seen here, don't be afraid to smash that follow button if you guys haven't followed. And once you do, I have a Discord here. Click the invite link if you guys are interested in joining the Discord to get the latest of my content, but also my news and all that. So coming up here is another village. This time it's Wellston, Oklahoma. I'm reading that from my on my nav map. My nav map will always tell me where we're going. This is Wellston. I don't have the notes for it, but according to my looking up, it's named after Christian T. Wells, who established a trading post here in 1883. It closed following the run of 1895. But currently, there's around 780 people living here, so it's a small village. That's weird. A texture going in and out. There's Wellston. So there's the big old I-44 down to our left. That's the big superhighway that connects Tulsa to Oklahoma City, KOKC. So it goes through the entire state of Oklahoma. So coming up soon is another historic landmark, the Threat Filling Station, about 2 miles. I didn't have in my notes when I did this, but some information about it. This filling station was built around 1915. It closed during the 1970s and became a National Historic Register place in 1995. This filling station was actually built in the style of a house, funnily enough. And during the Jim Crow era of the United States during that time, with the Jim Crow laws segregating the land of the U.S., it was one of the few places where black travelers could shop, stop, and park for the night or just rest. This is one of the few areas that the blacks can actually rest in. Definitely some interesting thing about the station. So yeah, definitely some very interesting stuff as well. Yeah, we're doing really good. So I want to ask you guys, so I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Hope you have all those plans for the weekend went really well for you guys. Had fun on the weekend. I guess after today, just preparing for Wednesday's flight all the way from Oklahoma City to Amarillo in Texas. So we get to the Lone Star State. But it will be our only stop in the Lone Star State, funnily enough. there's the filling station. To our right. So we're next going to fly over another small village. This is Luther, Oklahoma. The former home of Jake Negro League shortstop Joseph Dunn, and professional baseball player George Blackerby. I'm now testing out the base PC6 to know if I want to buy one or not. The Plus PC6 Porter. Yeah, the PC6 Porter, the base one definitely has that issue. You gotta manage the rotor trim on that one. You gotta be a little careful. There's French All, there's Red Dragon CYRM. There's those two. If I sound a little tired, it's because I didn't get home until 1 o'clock. So I'm still a little tired. I'm gonna go ahead and just put more fuel. So 34 nautical miles away, so we're gonna get there pretty quickly. So if we go the direction, we're gonna be heading to another famous, one of the other small towns. We'll get to something a little more well known, and that's Arcadia, Oklahoma. It was established in the soon after the land rush of 1889. Basically, that is the Oklahoma land rush, which drew a lot of black and white and African American cotton farmers, and they named the land after the Greek town of Arcadia. The post office was established in 1890. The Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railroad constructed a line here in 1902-1903 from Barnesville to OKC. It thrived as an agricultural community in the early 20th century, which, in thanks to its location near the Deep Fork River, it was well suited to produce cotton. And then it was also part of Route 66 as well, including two pretty famous landmarks in the city. So there's actually two well-known landmarks within the city. Yeah, tail drivers are all about my skill level. The Pack 50 is easier to find than the Porter. It is definitely easier because of the tricycle gear. The one famous landmark here for Arcadia is the Round Barn. The Arcadia Round Barn, definitely another Route 66 icon on the route. Now, this was actually built originally in 1898 by a local farmer, William Harrison Oder, using native bur oak soaked while green and forced into the curves needed for the walls and roof rafters. They actually added a second level to it, used as a community gathering place, and as a result, with the railroad and stuff, the town development prospered, along with Route 66 and the railroad. Follow the reduction in traffic through Route 66, Arcadia and the barn declined. In 1988, 100 years after it was built, the 60-foot diameter route collapsed, and a team of volunteers worked to rebuild the structure that was completed in 1992. Today, the old barn is still a tourist attraction that's still very popular. It's still popular among the road, and visitors admire the architectural and engineering details of America's only true round barn. So yeah, it's the only truly round barn in America. Pretty famous. There's the barn. Unfortunately, because we're getting auto-gen, we don't get the barn. So, and then the other place you can find here in Arcadia, is actually, whoa, great. There we go. Hold. Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally exited out of the thing. My apologies. So the next one is Pops. This restaurant here is located here in Arcadia, another roadside attraction of the famous route. Along the famous Route 66. Actually, is that the barn? I think that's the barn. It is the barn. Oh, hold on a second. Let me go ahead. I found the round barn. There's the round barn. The autogen actually did something useful for once. It's a round barn of Arcadia. Okay, now the restaurant here is Pops, which is on our left, is a restaurant. This restaurant takes the theme of a soda pop restaurant, which, I mean, back in the old era. Marked by a giant neon sign, the sign of a soda pop bottles. It opened back in 2007, being recently new. It incorporates a 100-foot extended cantilever truss over the gas pump in the parking areas. In addition to this as well, so, in addition to this as well, the restaurant is often known for their sodas. So, what's so special about the restaurant, you may ask? So they're known for all sorts of different brands of soda and all that as well, but it's also got a lot of American food, ice cream, milkshakes are their main ones, but they also got other foods like burgers, salads, and all that. So that's what they kind of serve here. So I could convert into round bar. So coming up soon, about 5 miles, we should be heading to our last stop before Oklahoma City. We're going to actually visit one of the suburb areas. We're visiting Edmond, Oklahoma. It's located here in Oklahoma City County. One of the many, it's part of the OKC metropolitan area. 94,000 people live here. The motto is a great place to grow. Oklahoma's 5th largest city actually is here. It was established for the Santa Fe rail line in 1887. And sprang up during the Oklahoma Land Run. During the 20th century, it became known as, it was known infamously as one of the sundown towns, as they banned property to other people of other races except for whites or Native American. And yes, racial discrimination was a huge issue in Oklahoma back in the day. It was also a site of a workplace shooting in 1986 when 4 people were killed and 6 more wounded by an ex-postman. And then during the 21st century, a famed Oklahoma baseball player, Bobby Mercer, was held here, as he helped build baseball during the town as well. But there's a lot of notable people here from Edmond. They include the star Deadwood and Supernatural Jim Beaver, Kelly Gregg, an all-state football player, actress Laura Spencer, Brian Whedon, he graduated from Edmond Santa Fe High School. And the Christian band Mercy Me was founded in Edmond as well. So actually, quite a few people made their homes here in Edmond. Yeah, welcome to Edmond as well. Going poster origin. Yes, that is where that term came from because of the workplace environment. We're now crossing the Grand Tree, and now we're heading to Edmond. And as soon as we turn left, we'll be visiting there is, and I see the Oklahoma City skyline to our left. There's the skyline. So this is Edmond. So this is Edmond, the 5th largest city in Oklahoma. Wow, I cannot break the PC score when I get land of the nose. I mean, already had the reverse thrusters. Yeah, the build of this PC6 is definitely better. I'm not really interested in paying for that much money. going to turn left. All right, guys. So now we're going to go ahead and visit. Oh, yeah, it's $30. Yeah. And we're finally going to talk about Oklahoma City. This is the largest city in the capital of Oklahoma. It's the 8th largest city in the southern U.S. and the 20th largest city in population, with a population of 687,725 people as of 2020 census. Though the metropolitan area is over 1.39 million people. It is home to one of the world's largest livestock markets, but also is well known for oil, natural gas, and petroleum. As the city is right in the middle of an active oil field. It's also the 8th largest city in the U.S. by area. And it's the second largest capital by area after Juneau. And of course, it had a long history of being settled in 1889 on April 22nd. Oklahoma City surpassed the previous year Guthrie as the territorial capital. It was also a major stockyards area, attracting jobs formerly in Chicago and Omaha, Nebraska. And then, infamously, Oklahoma City was bombed in an infamous terrorist attack by Timothy McVeigh in front of the Murrah building, and it had destroyed the entire building. And 168 people were killed in that. One of the worst domestic terrorist attacks in American history, if not the worst. But Oklahoma City is rich in economy. It's also got rich in Western museums and traditions as well, making Oklahoma City a very, very, very unique city in terms of history. And it's got rich in Western culture, including the National Cowboy Western Heritage Museum, which is all about rodeos and stuff. The Museum of Osteology has lots of skeletons. And the Oklahoma History Museum, which talks about the entire state of Oklahoma. So yeah, that is a little bit about Oklahoma City of OKC. So that's a little bit about Oklahoma City. Actually, before we go, so let's talk about, there's definitely some notable people, but there's a lot of them. In terms of athletics, you have owner Clay Bennett of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who was born and raised here in OKC. He's from Oklahoma City. Blake Griffin, NBA player for the Brooklyn Nets for basketball. For baseball, how about probably his most famous baseball player, Johnny Bench, born and raised in OKC. Johnny Bench, the legendary baseball player. Five-time All-Star Bobby Mercer. Five-time All-Star Joe Carter, the guy who hit the famous 1993 home run in the World Series. For hockey players, we have John Merrill. And then for NFL players, we have former Dan Bailey. Of course, Steve Largent. Not only a legendary football player, but also a iconic House of Representative member. Gerald McCoy. You have Steve Owens. And then for business people, you also have the Grand Ole Opry owner, Edward Gaylord. And then in terms of artists and writers, there's a lot of artists and musicians from OKC. Wayne Coyle, the lead singer of the Flaming Lips, is from here. Matthew Falwell, the lead guitarist of Kings of Leon. Wanda Jackson, member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Wanda Jackson. There's also Rick Bayless, celebrity chef, more. So definitely some very famous people from OKC. So Oklahoma City definitely has some very famous residents. So yeah, there's some very famous people here in Oklahoma City. Just gonna fly a little slow here today. Just gonna fly a little slow for the rest of the trip. We can take a look at the sights of Oklahoma City. Like I said, this wasn't really that long of a flight. We just got to the rest of OKC. Now, I think OKC is going to get its own separate city tour, but we're going to just tour a little bit of OKC just to learn about the city. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and pick up some stuff. Definitely very cool, so we're going to pick up some speed. So yeah, so we're right into the outskirts of OKC. So we're gonna actually take a detour from the road, and that's because we're gonna be visiting the couple destinations here. Once we get to the area, I'll pop. And there's Mongo. Good to see you, Mongo. Friend to all. Red Dragon. Great to have you here. And Mongo in the Spitfire. I see, Mongo. Oh, here we go. So here we are. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and turn on active pause. So let's go over. Let's go over each of the places we're visiting. So this place right here. This here is actually the Oklahoma Historical Center. The Oklahoma History Center. This is our history center to our right. It's located in 18-acre land. This history museum opened in 2005, operated by the Oklahoma Historical Society. Focuses on the history of Oklahoma and contains several galleries. And some of those galleries include the following. There's a Kara McGeer gallery representing items from an 1830s riverboat, along with other examples of Oklahoma's entrepreneurial history, including an oil derrick and sections of the African American experience like business, military matters, natural resources, and more. Then there's the One OK Gallery representing all 39 American Indian tribes associated in Oklahoma, along with the Native American experience as a bridge between the past and the present, featuring artifacts, tribal music, photographic images, Indian art, and oral histories from the tribes. Then there's the Noble Foundation Gallery containing education, farming, fashion, government, and politics. Also the history of the Dust Bowl, which was a very infamous thing that happened during the Midwest. And finally, the Gaylord Special Exhibit Gallery containing the Sky Flat 4 command module and various artifacts related to many of the Oklahomans in space, along with flight suits worn by several astronauts and pilots: Gordon Cooper, Fred Hayes, John Harrington, Shannon Lucid, and Stuart Rosa. Also, every year, the Oklahoma History Center hosts the Oklahoma State Level History Day competition about documentaries, historical papers, websites, exhibit boards, or performances on a topic that relates to each year's theme. And it features quite a few really cool things. The picture on here was actually the Winnie Mae plane flown by the Oklahoman pilot Wiley Post, by the way. And then we turn our attention to the Oklahoma State Capitol building, funnily enough. So this is Oklahoma's Capitol building, by the way. It's 452,508 square feet. The present structure was completed back in 2002, but it was originally built in 1917. Originally housed the judicial branch of Oklahoma, but they now moved to its separate judicial center in 2011. It is the only state complex, get this, with an active oil rig on the Capitol grounds. Yes, there's actually got in addition to this, the exterior was actually famous for its oil wells, as the Capitol building is directly on top of the Oklahoma City oil field. It features art made by the Chickasaw artist Mike Larson, honoring the 5 moons. It was in the rotunda. And its own ring of honor includes some very famous people of Oklahoma and donors and all that. So yeah, this is the Oklahoma State Capitol. And there's all the grounds. So this is the Oklahoma State Capitol, guys. Okay. We're going to go ahead and turn left. Woo! Did not want to hit the state capitol. We're close. We're going to go ahead and visit another Route 66 landmark. The Gold Dome. The Gold Dome, this, which is right here to our left. This geodesic dome was built back in 1958. It was on the intersection of 23rd Street and Northwest Boulevard. And get this, this was built for a bank, funnily enough. Yes, a bank actually operates there. This geodesic dome was constructed of 625 square panels, ranging in size between 7.5 and 11.5 feet in length, 60 to 70 pounds each, span diameter of 145 feet. The interior covers around 27,000 square feet of space. Now it's actually become more of a concert center this past couple of years. It's now been more of a concert center as well. So that is a bit about the Gold Dome. So here it is, the Gold Dome. It's a weird geodesic dome here, but one of the really cool landmarks here in the city. And then we're going to visit the next one, the Oklahoma City Memorial. Obviously, this was made to become a memorial to all those who passed away during the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing that happened. This was the former site of the Alfred P. Murrah building that was destroyed. It was authorized on October 9, 1997 by Bill Clinton's signing of the Oklahoma City Memorial Act of 1997. It was formally dedicated in April 19, 2000. The museum was dedicated and opened 10 months later in 2001, February 19th. It features several unique segments, including the Gates of Time, representing the frame moment of the destruction. And then there's also a reflecting pool as well. So, here, I'm going to go ahead and descend, so we can get close to the memorial. Go with that. Back to pause. Okay. Here it is. Here's the memorial. So some of the other areas here in the memorial, they include the fields of empty chairs, which represent all those who lost their lives, the survivor wall, one of the original remaining portions of the Murrah building. There's also a survivor tree, memorials fence, and more. All those to represent all the people that passed away during the bombing. So definitely a very solemn memorial to all those people who passed away. So now this here is downtown. We're in downtown Oklahoma City. So this is downtown. There's the tallest building in Oklahoma. We're now entering Bricktown. Alright guys, now we get to the next landmark on our Route 66 journey. We'll be visiting Chickasaw Downtown Ballpark. This ballpark was opened back in 1998, home of the Oklahoma City Dodgers, the AAA affiliate of the LA Dodgers baseball team. It has up to 13,000 seats normally, but currently uses a seating capacity of 9,000 for the Dodger games. It's also hosted many other events throughout the baseball season as well. It replaced the older stadium, but it's also home to other events. It used to be the home of the Big 12 baseball tournament through 2020. It's also hosted games of the Bedlam series between Oklahoma Sooners and OK State. So there's that as well. And then we can turn left. So to our right here, it is actually one of the many shops and stuff here. But these are like different, looks like more construction materials. All right, let's go down a little lower. So this here is actually home to OKC's only major league team, actually. You're right. And it's home to the only major league team here in actually the state of Oklahoma, and that is Paycom Center. In the sim, it's known as Chesapeake Arena, where it's the home of the Oklahoma City Thunder of the National Basketball Association. In addition to used as a sports venue, it's hosted many concerts, social events, conventions, ice shows, and civic events. For basketball, it can see up to 18,203 fans, 15,000 for hockey events, and up to 16,000 for concerts have been held here. It opened back in 2002. During Hurricane Katrina, Oklahoma City actually hosted a couple of games for the Hornets, and that led to, and the success of basketball here in Oklahoma City led to the NBA moving to consider OKC as a potential expansion relocation site. And that's what happened with the Seattle Supersonics. They moved here to Oklahoma City, and have since been very successful here. So, hold on one second. I'll get back to the air. Just so there's this. There's the OKC. There is the convention center. To the left, oh yeah, I think I know what it was. They were building the convention center here in OKC. But now we're here to a very interesting little landmark here. And yes, this is a PY landmark, by the way. Oklahoma's okay, it is. And that's the famous Skydance Bridge here in Oklahoma. This bridge, this pedestrian bridge was originally designated in 2012. It was made by architects Hans and Troy Butcher, and they conceived the bridge after the main dance of Oklahoma State bird, the scissor-tailed flycatcher. It's around it's 380 feet long, 192 feet tall. It's 20 feet wide. And it's a really cool looking bridge. It's definitely a visually very striking bridge. And I wonder what it looks like in night. Look at that. Look at that. That's a striking looking bridge. That was cool, isn't it? With the night lighting. That looks really cool with the... So yeah, that is Skydance Bridge. And finally, we have one more slide for today. And it is actually our final airport for today. And it's Oklahoma Oklahoma's largest and busiest airport, Will Rogers World Airport. Kilo Oscar Kilo Charlie. This airport was named after the legendary Canadian cowboy and pilot, by the way. He actually has flown planes, Will Rogers, and he actually unfortunately passed away at Utqiagvik, Alaska in 1935. It is the busiest airport in Oklahoma. In 2019, more than 4.42 million passengers flew through Will Rogers World Airport. So some other facts as well. So, and during World War II, in fact, the airport was a major training facility for the United States Army Air Forces, including many Air Force groups were stationed here for training. And then post-war, it became a domestic airport. This airport currently has 4 runways, 1331, which is asphalt concrete, around 7,800 feet. And there's 17 left, 35 right, which is 3,802 feet. 17 right, 35L, which is around 9,800 feet. And the shortest one is 1836 at around 3,078. Currently, there are quite a few airlines that operate out of Will Rogers. Alaska Airlines does flights to Seattle. American Airlines does flights to Charlotte, Dallas, Austin, LA, Miami, New York. And Southwest does flights to Atlanta, Houston, Hobby, Vegas, San Antonio, and Washington, D.C. And Delta can do flights to Salt Lake City, for example. But quite a few airports as well. So yeah, that is Will Rogers Airport, and we can land. I guess we can land here at 17 left. So let's see if the bot's working. I don't think the bot's working, unfortunately, the Twitch bot. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna go ahead and land. So I'm just gonna let this thing glide its way to the runway. That's it, guys. Holy crap, we're gonna get this one done. Welcome, and guys, welcome to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Just need to circle around just to get this thing rounded up, and we got it. Perfect. Awesome. Great flight, guys. That was good. So that's it, guys. We did it. We made our way. We made our way to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And that's another leg down for in the books. So there we go. Go ahead and exit out. And that's it. And that's it. We got the flight off. And that is another leg down of our trip through Route 66. We have Red Dragon and Mongol landing. So, yeah, there's a tree. Yes, I saw that. We're a place to put a tree, if you ask me. Red Dragon is down, and we have Mongo down. All of them have successfully tried to land. You guys are at the wrong airport. There's also Tinker Air Base right next to it, but no, we guys are the right airport. This is Will Rogers World. That's a And All is about to land. So guys, thank you so much for today's flight. So it's a massive thank you for everyone here, the new follows and all the new people in chats. Massive thank you for everyone here for joining along for today. So some plans for the next two streams. We continue Route 66 for legs 7 and 8 for the next two streams. Leg 6 will be going from Oklahoma City to Amarillo, Texas. We go into the Lone Star State. And then in leg 8, we will be leaving the Lone Star State and enter New Mexico. And we enter to Tucumcari here in New Mexico. So thank you guys so much for coming along on today's trip. I actually would probably agree with you. I think we raid Telmos. Today we're gonna raid Telmos World today. I don't think we've raided his channel much, so we're gonna raid Telmos. So let's go raid Telmos World today. Let me go ahead and find his channel. So guys, thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys on Wednesday. So take care, everyone. Viper Strike 95 is ready to sign off, and see you guys all later. Take care, everyone, and make sure you all stick around for the raid, alright?